We have a roster update, Brad. It's Indiana Hoosiers Live 68 presented by FanDuel. And I wanted to read your tweet that you sent to or reposted to Brandon Walker. And I thought I had it in front of me. And I looked down at, I do. Good in my book, BW. Most were wrong, including some Indiana fans. As for me, I was right in that sick #iTest. Bradley Loomis, how are you doing?
I'm doing good. I would have read it more so like, hey, beat up, like you're all good in my book. Like, a lot of Indiana fans were wrong, and most people were wrong, including some Indiana fans. And as for me, I would have paused a little more there. As for me, I was right, and that's sick. That's how it is. I tweet like I talk, so it's I think it's the right way to do it. I don't know. We'll see.
I love
it's the only
it.
way I know how. So that's all you're getting from me.
There is only one way with Bradley Loomis. We'll start here, Brad, because there's a lot of football to talk about. Obviously, we got a roster update. We got the first official workout video for Chapter 3, Season 3 under Curt Cignetti. We'll get to all of that.
I like it.
The crux of the show will be us breaking down the roster update, obviously, and you can see here we got the screen share working. We've got new numbers. We got the new transfer portal guys added to the roster, so we'll be going through all that. But Brad, the basketball team has found itself on a little bit of a roll, and so I want to start there. Indiana basketball has played three times since we last spoke. Overall feelings coming off of the Oregon game last night.
They look good. They dismantled what is a very, very down year for Oregon, which is a little confusing. Like, they brought back Biddle and Shellstad, and they were expecting kind of a year where they're kind of expected to go back to the tournament. And I guess with Shellstad being hurt, Lee Wei Lin, I think is his name. The kid's pretty good, honestly. But he's no Jackson Shellstad. He's been stepping in there and becoming that scoring one for Oregon. They haven't had quite the season they were anticipating. Dana Altman is the mentor of Darian DeVries back in Creighton days. And for him to, in their first meeting basically against each other, for Darian to get it done in that fashion, I think was very impressive, regardless of how good Oregon was. They're still a very talented team. They have Biddle back, and Kwame Evans, a 5-star. They got talent there, right? And but yeah, they did exactly what they should do. Lamar Wilkerson, I think, has been the big talk of the town after that game. People were calling him, Lamar Wilkerson is the best scorer since blank. A lot of people, I think Eric Gordon is probably like the biggest name I saw. I would say like right now, I'm not going to sit in here and say I watched a ton of Eric Gordon in college, but I know that he didn't put up a whole lot of like 40-point games. I think Lamar Wilkerson I think he has the advantage over Eric Gordon in the sense that Eric Gordon was a freshman, 18-year-old, and Lamar Wilkerson is a 24-year-old, 6th-year senior or whatever. I think he has that advantage. So like right now, like Lamar Wilkerson as is, like probably could be having with the context of 2 out of the 3 highest scoring games in Assembly Hall. It's probably the best score in IU history. Might be a bold statement to some. Maybe benefiting from the fact that we are Lamar Wilkerson reliant. But it's kind of hard to argue the numbers here and the eye test as well. I mean, the guy can score at all 3 levels. He can get to the rim. He can cross you up. He can facilitate. He can shoot the 3. He has limitless range. He can shoot from anywhere. Any shot, I don't think I've ever complained about a single shot Lamar Wilkerson has taken. For me, and Darren DeVries probably think like here, like he can shoot whatever the fuck he wants. I don't care. Like, I'm shocked when it doesn't go in, to be quite honest. He can shoot from half court, and if it didn't go in, I'd be like shocked it didn't like hit. I think he has the ultimate green light. I think there's a reason for that. I think he is one of the best scorers in IU history, if not the best. Now he has, the benefits of being like a 6th year guy. But yeah, I'm gonna advocate for his. There's no reason why that guy shouldn't be a 2nd-round pick. That guy can play on an NBA roster for the next 3 years somewhere. I'm not saying he's gonna have this super long NBA career. I'm just saying he can probably step in for you on a random Wednesday night where you have a couple injuries, come in the rotation, knock down a couple threes for you, and play a good enough defense to do his job, right? And yeah, I think that guy's going to be is an NBA player, and he's going to play in the grown man league, which is very hard to do. The hardest league in all of sports to make. There are so many damn good basketball players out there, and there are so many that only have. That's why you're seeing all these kids like Amari Bailey. Like, I mean, we could go on this whole rant about how guys shouldn't have left early and things like that. You had the Bediako, you got you got Amari Bailey trying to go back to college. Like, those guys just shouldn't have left. Like, I don't think kids are finally starting to understand how hard it is to make it in the NBA, seeing all these NBA players trying to come back to college. And it's like, this has been a thing that people have talked about for decades, right? Like, man, that guy shouldn't have gone early. That guy shouldn't have gone early, like, because he fizzled out. And it's like, yeah, because there's only like a 420 spots in the NBA, and like half of those are vets that are going to have 10-year careers. And then, a lot of those guys are European too. And it's just, the math just doesn't math for like 60 draft picks in a season. Like most draft picks don't even play in the NBA. I mean, not most, but like a majority of them, a good chunk of them don't never even step foot in the NBA. And, this idea where guys can go early. Now, it's funny saying this when there's probably the best most NBA ready freshman class of all time in my mind. So many guys. The fact that Chris Senak at Houston isn't a top 10 pick this upcoming is insane. That kid's going to be so good. And he's not even a top 10 guy. He might be, depending on need, obviously. If the guy needs a center, you should go hit up Chris Senak Jr. over at Houston. Like, we talk Cam Boozer. We could talk Kingston Flemings. We can talk Braden Burries over at Arizona. We can talk Keaton Wagler, who's one of my favorites. I think the guy has the most room to grow in terms of becoming a potential superstar in the NBA. Whereas like a Cameron Boozer, like, I'm not trying to knock him, but like, how much more room does he have to grow as a basketball player? I don't know. Whereas Keaton Wagler, I know he can throw on 20 pounds and get better and better athletically and things like that and grow into his body a little bit. We can dive into that later, but yeah, I think to my point being, Lamar Wilkerson is NBA ready right now, and physically, shooting wise, volume. I mean, that guy, he's one of the best shooters in the country, and that's how people should evaluate. I think this whole way of drafting based on potential has really disserviced kids in the long run and athletes. And I know NIL and portal are helping college basketball. They're keeping kids in school as it should be, play 4 years. The best developmental league was never the G League. Like, the G League, like, yeah, maybe the guy played in the G League and he got to the NBA, but it's like players develop players. And the best place to develop as a player is in the college ranks because you play the best competition. It's intense. It's the most physical league besides the NBA in the world. And back to the Hoosiers, I think if they just go 500, they should be in. They're locked in at a consensus 10 seed right now. As long as they go 500, they should be in. Now, they could drop down to an 11 seed depending on the field. The only way to basically solidify a 10 seed would be to lock it in. A 10 seed plus would be to beat Michigan State or Purdue or Illinois. We got Illinois on Sunday. And between you and me, I'm petrified. I'm so scared of Illinois.
Well, you're saying a lot, and I want to unpack.
Yeah, you can reel me in a little bit.
The biggest thing I think that Indiana fans can focus on or bite down into was the 17 win number that they just reached. And this was significant because there was a tweet by Indiana Sports Partisan that said Indiana now has 17 wins 10 days into February. The last time an Indiana basketball team had 17 wins by February 10th was Yogi's conference championship team. And that team made the Sweet 16. So it's been 10 years. And he said that since Yogi's team did it, Indiana teams have had an average of 14 wins on February 10th. So we're trending historic from the Indiana basketball that me and you are used to, right? Coming in as freshmen in 2017. Like, this is by far the best tournament resume they've had.
Which is crazy because there's so many holes on this team. And the fact that Darren DeVries has been able to coach them to this point if you weren't convinced after the Purdue game, here's some numbers for you. You know, like here are some tangible resume comparisons to tell you that Darren DeVries is the guy. Now get him. You know, the reason why I'm so scared of Illinois is because they got Andrei Stojakovic. They got 2 7-footers that can shoot threes and spank layups off the glass. They have another guy named Petrovic who starts over one of those guys. They have Hummerkaus off the bench, 6'8", forward guard. I don't know what he is. He's just a good basketball. Like, I'm going to go Bill Walton. Like, please, he's just a basketball player. Like, Hummerkaus is amazing. They've been rolling without Kylan Boswell. Wait till that guy comes back. And they have, don't get me started. They have probably a top 5 pick in Keaton Wagler, who's dropping 46 on top 15 teams. You know, he's putting up Lamar Wilkerson numbers as a true freshman. Like, think about how good that guy is. You know, and you know, yeah, he has off games because he's an 18-year-old, but you know, for the most part, like that team is loaded. So get DeVries a roster like that, donors, boosters. I don't know who's watching out there, and you know, we'll get there. He's the guy to coach a roster like that to get to the level of what we're seeing at Michigan State, Nebraska, Michigan, and Illinois right now. And he can get us to that level. We just have to put in the money and the work on the recruiting trail and set up a plan and get a roster like that. Because I've said this before, the top 20 versus the rest of the field has never been a wider gap right now. There's a reason why last year was so chalky in the tournament, and it's going to be the same thing this year. It's going to be so hard for those 11, 12 seeds to get upsets these days. Although in theory, like all their best players are playing in Power 4 now because of the portal. You know, it's just going to be a very difficult for underdogs to win in the tournament with such a big talent gap, even just between the top 10 and the next 10. You know, like there's a wide gap that like of about, you know, if we want to go Vegas numbers, around 7 points. Like it's a lot, you know, as opposed to years past where it's probably like 2 or 3. So, yeah, it's going to be chalky. Indiana needs to get into a spot to, obviously, we're talking forward thinking here in the future years this offseason, give Darren DeVries all the time and the resources, full offseason, get his, obviously, he got his guys, but like, you know, get the dudes, get the Jimmies. There's no more, like basketball is a Jimmy, like we can talk X's and O's, right? Like that's like the norm, right? There's only so much you can do. Basketball is the most Jimmy's and Joe's sport ever. Like football is X's and O's. You can bypass talent with good strategy. Cannot do that with basketball. You got LeBron, you're gonna be good. Like it doesn't matter who's coaching you, all right? You know what I mean? That is the most Jimmy's and Joe's sports. It's a star-driven sport. It goes all the way down to random pickup games. Like you got the 2 best players, you're gonna win all your pickup games, right? Like it's not, you know, for the most part. Now in a 40-minute game, anything can happen. So all we can do is just root for the Hoosiers and you know, root for them to be the best that they can be and accomplish as much as they need to accomplish. Like they win a tournament game, I'm gonna be so stoked for those kids. They deserve it. They put in the work. And yeah, we just got to root for them, you know?
Yeah, but they're playing really fun basketball. It's funny. I was listening to the game on the radio yesterday because I was doing a bunch of driving. And so listening to Don Fisher actually call a full game and like then going and watching the Lamar Wilkerson highlights, obviously it wasn't doing it full justice, but really awesome experience. But yeah, that like in the immediate present, the team's playing really well right now. And like Assembly isn't like the loudest it's ever been, and there was some questions about whether or not, you know, the student population is supporting the team fully, and people saw the pictures of empty seats, but it's also a Monday night in February, so I'm not going to
against the bad Oregon team too. I
exactly
think that's a good
point. But yeah, they're playing really fun basketball right now, and this is the team we thought we were going to watch when they're shooting well and it's going in. Like yeah, they're a problem for everybody to handle. Obviously, the other big thing that came out of last night, they honored the 76 team at halftime. And they're officially putting a Bob Knight statue in Assembly Hall. That's long overdue. I can't believe there's not one already. But another really awesome thing that we're starting to see it was funny. There was somebody commenting back on, I forget if we were talking about like renovations or talking about Sig getting a statue, but somebody had like teased that there were other statues coming in. I'm assuming this is what they were talking about. And then obviously on Sunday, the next game this Indiana team is going to play is against Illinois. And Brad, you referenced how good that Illinois team is. Everybody looks at Michigan as kind of running away with the Big Ten, but Illinois is hanging in there, plus 150 on FanDuel to win the Big Ten. This is a really, really important game for them. We're past the point of overlooking teams. You like when you're as close in the Big Ten race as Michigan and Illinois are, every game matters. So Illinois is not going to overlook this Indiana team. But like with the way Indiana shoots and their fearlessness and their like Enright's ability to just be a pest, and it's just I like the way that some things may be able to, if you're gonna like try and create an upset, like if we shoot 55-60% from three, like
and shoot 50 of them, we got a shot. I'll tell you that, we got a shot. We have a chance.
But no, I enjoy watching this team
here. We have a better shot against Purdue and Michigan State. The matchup, like
here's what I'm trying to say, Brad. I'm trying to say that this team is fun. They're worth watching. There's a lot of cool stuff going on around the basketball program, and it's a big matchup against Illinois on Sunday. And it's no mistake, it's in prime time. The NFL goes away, and the first Sunday back, you put Indiana basketball. Like that's not a mistake. That's all I'm saying.
I don't like how we match up against.
What? No, I'm not saying like there's gonna listen. I'm not talking X's and O's upset. I'm talking like I'm just saying like I enjoy watching this basketball team play, and I'm excited to watch them play on CBS on Sunday.
Yeah, there's a.
All right, let's not. I don't want to like.
I'm not trying to like dumb it. Like we should make the tournament. We are a tournament team. Like I just said, the difference between these top teams and the rest of the field, even the ones that are in the tournament, are so far ahead. It's all portal based. Like these teams are just stacking rosters, and it's fun. It's great for the sport. Like you watch Kansas Arizona last night. Like what a game! What a game! If you're able to catch the end of that, and yeah, I just want Indiana to be in that spot. And when it comes to the fans, Slew's saying they can't grow and Reed Bailey checks in, can't stress that enough. Like, what are we doing? I didn't even know that was a thing.
Me neither. That's nuts.
I like Reed Bailey. I think Reed Bailey's been put in a tough spot. I think DeVries would be the first one to admit that. Yeah, we can't be doing that, and yeah, we'll get there. I just don't.
We're working on it.
But you never know. In the house of pain, it's gonna be a tough spot on a weekend. It's going to be loud. Illinois hates us, too. They're going to show out.
Yeah, and we just killed them in football and let them know about it. Although, to be honest, though, that goes back to last year in Assembly Hall when they beat us by like 95 and essentially killed the Mike Woodson era. Like, I don't know. There's no love lost between these two teams, but they're not a rival. I'll tell you that.
Yeah, couldn't agree more, Slew. Got to give the guy some confidence. He's stepping into a role he's not used to. When it comes to the fans and the kids not showing out, obviously we can point to Monday night. Tough to fill. Kids are trying to catch up on class. They've been, study later. Now it's later. With Cignetti. That was Cignetti's instructions. So now they're starting to study later. I just can't imagine. Like I know, like I'll be the first to tell you we're a football school. We are. With that, we are a football school with a rich basketball tradition that has an aura to it that will never, I feel like, diminish in any way. I think that's just a one-off, and it's just hard for me to think that aura will luster in any way long term. I think kids are going to get involved. I think we just need to get a team.
Dude, I think big picture, long term. I agree with you. I think in the very, very short term with the guys we got, like they have a chance in every game they go into because of the ability to shoot the three. So, like I said, exciting to watch. We're going to keep following along. I want to talk about football, Brad. We got lots of smoke, Brad. Lots of smoke around the Indiana football program. But today is Mamatron's birthday. So happy birthday, Mamatron. Nick Marsh's mother. Seen that on the timeline today. So wanted to give a birthday shout out. Brad, I want to start here, though. We got a video last week of the Barstool playing their flag football, whatever the Barstool, whatever that they were calling that challenge. And there was video of Mike Kadick going out in the open field and finding people to go block. And just watching him move and like get out on the edge, to think that guy could easily be on an NFL roster right now. And I'm not saying like he'd be a starter or an all pro or anything like that, but Mike Kadick could absolutely be on an NFL roster right now. And to watch him throw around Barstool guys in that flag football game was hilarious.
I'm sorry. I'll admit I was kind of texting my girlfriend and I need to tell her to stop tapping me. Can you rerun that story again? Who's playing flag football and who's going crazy?
Jesus Christ, this
my
guy.
bad, dude.
Mike Kadick.
Oh yeah. He was Mossing dudes. He was looking like a real college athlete out there. When you put him up against a bunch of bloggers, that's what's gonna happen. He's Mossing dudes. He's getting to the next level in flag football, which is honestly kind of just dangerous in a way. And I'm just glad Mike Kadick was playing at 60% instead of his because I saw the play where he got down the field and he just knocked the guy over, and it was just like,
he didn't. It wasn't like
tell he's like going like 40%. Yeah.
There was
like, that guy had to block Mason Graham. You know what I mean? Like, you had to block him.
There was a report of, I think it was an SEC team or a Big Ten team or somebody was talking about what NIL agents are asking for. And it was a laundry list of things, including like preferred walk-on spots and game tickets and all this stuff. And the last thing that
what do you mean they're asking? Like, who are these agents?
The NIL agents, like representing college players in the transfer portal. And like the final thing that these guys were asking for is sideline or field passes for the agents.
But they're asking for, why are they asking for preferred walk-ons?
That was just in the report. I'm assuming like if I come, my friend comes too, type of deal. I don't know.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah, that makes sense. That's always been a thing, kind of, to be honest.
But I thought the funny part in there was like, if you're the NIL agent and you're like, how do I recruit this kid to my school? It's like, oh, if you give me sideline passes, I'll tell him to come here. It's like, that's a crazy thing to say. How can you in any way, shape, or form frame that that's about the athlete?
That's the one thing I'm really concerned about with the sport. Like I like that the kids are able to go to the portal and get NIL. I know there's good agents, but there's also plenty of bad agents, selfish, not self-interested, not looking out for the kid. That's what I'm worried about, right? I want to ensure that, and maybe I can think of a way, this could be my $1 million idea in terms of trying to find a way to ensure that these kids are being represented with the best intentions and not being taken advantage of. And as we evolve and less freshmen are going to be, these Bryce Underwood deals and who's the tight end from Mater Dei that went to USC, Mark Bowman, right? Like those deals aren't going to be as common in the future. That money is going to be allocated toward guys in the portal, as the roster stacking that's happening in college basketball, a lot easier to do. It's quicker to turn into that smaller rosters, right? That is going to start happening in college football now with, obviously Indiana winning the way that they did through the portal, 2 years turnaround, most wins in college football during that 2-year stretch. That's how it's going to end up being. I guess to my point around the agents, like my worry is that representation just not having the best intentions and leading kids in the wrong direction and kind of like missing the plot a little bit, right? Obviously go get your money, go get your bag, but like these kids' dreams are to go play in the NFL and to at least get a shot to do that. And, maybe the money grab now isn't the best way to do it, is my point. And yeah, maybe there's a kid that maybe doesn't have crazy NFL aspirations, but he's a good college football player, and that's a different situation in and of itself. But I just want to make sure that these kids are being represented in the right way and they're not being fed bad information by selfish agents. And I'm not saying all are bad. I'm just saying
I'm with you.
There's always bad apples in everything. Right.
It's an extremely unregulated industry. Me and you could literally be NIL agents right now. Mm-hmm. There is no like.
I should be. I'd be really good. I'd be awesome.
But that's the thought process like a college freshman has, and then they like go tell their buddy like I'll represent you in the portal, like I've watched sports my whole life, and then they get in these conversations, then they ask for helicopters and shit, and you're like, what are you even talking about?
I've had people tell me that I should be Fernando's agent. You know, I'm not gonna name names. You remember that? No, I'd be good at it, but you know, I don't have.
Fernando definitely doesn't need any help.
Yeah, his team's doing really well. I think they do better than I am right now. I don't know if I'd be getting him in the Fallon spot. To be honest. I don't know if I'd be able to pull that off, quite honestly. And the LinkedIn deal, and the deals at the wazoo for that kid.
Planet Fitness. The Planet Fitness thing was absolutely hilarious. Did you see the quote that led to this?
He's trying to.
And in the most endearing way, I called him
He's endorsement fishing.
He's a walking billboard. Like he's
endorsement fishing. Yeah, he's literally just wants the Planet Fitness.
He's the king of LinkedIn. Are you kidding me? Like this dude is getting it's like in 2K when you're like, let me do this endorsement. Everything's green for that guy. All the doors are open. And he's walking through them. Like these are all the opportunities that he said no to during the season because he was working, and now he has a bunch of time and he's just stacking these deals. It's like the fact that he told the country that he was been working out at the Bloomington Planet Fitness because Sig kicked him out of the facility is hysterical. 1, 2, the fact that people actually thought that was real when there's been not a single ounce of media about Fernando Mendoza working out at the local Planet Fitness. What are we talking about? Like, that was insane. I can't believe people bought that. But like he's wearing the Planet Fitness thing. Everyone's asking him about it. You know what I mean? It was excellent product placement. But yeah, he was all over the place. Like I didn't even realize he was out in San Francisco. And then he also seeing the busing with the boys guys. Like he's sitting down with Kay Adams. He was on with Cowherd. Like guy's a superstar.
Yeah, he is. And he deserves it. He deserves that little kind of Super Bowl week media tour. Definitely deserves it. He's the consensus 1 pick. I don't think that happens if there's another guy chomping at the bit for it, right? It's basically a done deal. He's going to be the 1 pick. Who's going to be picking at 1 still to be determined.
Do you want to guess what his odds are, Brad, on FanDuel?
Probably like minus 2,000. Minus 5,000. Minus 10,000. That sounds right.
Although I'm not going to lie to you, Brad, I had 5 minutes today where I was like convinced he was going to be a Jet. And I was having an existential crisis of like, is this a good thing or a bad thing? I don't know.
But are they even offering the field for the first overall pick? Like as a bet to be like basically betting that Fernando's not the first overall pick?
That would be, I wonder what, you'd probably get decent odds on that.
Yeah, it would be juiced up. You want to know a play that I like on FanDuel?
What's that, Brad?
Sakamoto to win the women's figure skating gold medal singles minus 105, baby. Lock it in. Lock it in, baby. It's free money. She was so dialed. She was dialed in the team event. 7-time world champ. She's got it this year. It's a lock. Just free money. Anyways. Sorry, FanDuel. I'm going to lose you money on this one. It's on me. Unless they somehow – and maybe they're going to rig her. Now I'm worried that I gave it out, that they're going to rig it for me.
I don't think you got that type of market pull, Brad. I think we're all right.
You're going to press the button.
No, it's funny. It's the prediction markets are the places to house these ridiculous bets, but whatever.
Riley Sakamoto.
No, not
a ridiculous bet.
No, I know that's not what I was talking about. Maybe like Fernando versus the field type of thing. Like I don't know if a sports book would even house that.
Yeah.
You're losing. It's a nobody. Like, he's going to be the number 1 pick. And if they even if the Raiders decide that they like Bailey or Bain or Caleb Downs, right? Like, and they trade the pick, whoever trades up to 1 is taking Mendoza. Like he's the guy.
Yeah.
Riley Nowakowski, Brad. Obviously, we know how good he was this year because we watched him play. But to see the actual Pro Football Focus graded number, 4th highest graded tight end in Power 4 football, Brad.
Not surprised.
Not surprised at all. Not where we thought he was going to be when we talked about where he would fit into this roster as we were like building up into the spring and summer last year. But obviously watching the guy play and what he put on the field, like that, not surprising at all. Something that was a little surprising, Brad, is I was going through and I was trying to find, I don't remember what I was doing. I was looking at old tweets. I'm trying to look at receipts maybe or find old pictures, or I don't even know. But I stumbled across a tweet from right before the spring game where Cignetti was talking about how the roster broke down. And it was when he officially named Alberto Mendoza the quarterback too. And he's talking about the top line wide receivers going into 2025. And he names obviously he names Surratt, he names Coop, and he names EJ. And he also named Charlie Becker.
We got to listen more, or at least I got to listen more. I didn't listen.
Not enough people listen to the guy when he speaks, but yeah, he was he is somebody who's openly acknowledged. Like he was on Bison Drop, and they dropped the 30 minutes unfiltered with Sig. We'll cover that in a little bit, but Becker is a guy who, like, yeah, they knew what they had in him, but it's also somebody who needed an opportunity to be created to really go put it on the field.
Yeah.
Bison Drop, Brad. Bison Drop's been having a massive, massive couple weeks. Bison Drop right now has Lamar Wilkerson's shorts from the 44-point game signed live. There's a Big Ten poster with Sig's signature on it. The social drop right now is Jeremy Gray's PA notes from the Wisconsin basketball game. But the big news, obviously, that made super headlines from Bison Drop was Curt Cignetti's headset saw $90,000 in bidding back and forth, basically between these two guys in the last hour of the bid. The headset officially sold for $112,000.
That's an insane number. That's college. That's crazy.
That's what that is. I mean, to be frank, Brad, that's what a player costs. Basically, it's like a high school player. Like that's how much you have to pay a guy to get him to come to your school. That's essentially like Indiana sold Curt Cignetti's headset to afford another recruit.
Let's go. Let's go. Let's do that more. Let's do more of that.
More. Yes. I mean, that's incredible. It's a wild way to think about that, right? But insane. Respectable Adam won the social drop for the confetti, which warmed my heart a little bit because I'm a Respectable Adam guy. Thought that was really cool. And then obviously, like as I said, there's a bunch of different auctions on right now. If you want Lamar, like they're gonna need to. I don't know if they can keep taking things from Lamar Wilkerson if he's gonna keep putting up performances like that. But yeah, Bison Drop absolutely on fire. Tyson Brown, official Brad. And like we just talked about, we got the first workout video. Chapter 3 officially started.
Love that. Saw some good things.
I saw a lot of good things. A lot of Roe Hardy, which warms my heart, obviously. A lot of Bones Jones, Charlie Becker in a vocal role, Tyreek Tucker in a vocal role. A lot of really, really cool stuff coming out. It's just when you get these little nuggets, right? And obviously it's 40 seconds and the guys are running and this is the first time that we've seen the 2026 Indiana Hoosiers in any type of team capacity together. So really, really exciting stuff.
Yeah. And when it comes to those little clips, I feel like we do a really good job of pulling the most out of those little picks and figuring out like who's going to play. We saw a lot of Jaja Boyd, and he ended up being more of a 2 role and didn't really get in. Hence I have him on a list of potential boomerangs because he's one of the few transfers over the last couple of years to leave and go to another Power 4 school. So it's almost like he's leaving to go get that starting experience that he probably won't be able to get here as a redshirt sophomore. And good for him. And do that. Get your development elsewhere. Always welcome back. We'll see what works out for him. But like we're able to pull like all these little things, these little tidbits from these. And I think the big things that stuck out was leaders being established, Charlie Becker, Tyreek Tucker, leading a couple huddles, and like no surprises here. We knew those guys were going to come in and be like top leaders on this team. Charlie Becker's an obvious team captain candidate, as well as Tyreek Tucker being one of the more senior guys, the last of the James Madison 13 still on the team. So like right off the bat, like those two guys probably are the captains of defense and offense respectively right now.
Full blown agree. And then I forgot to mention when we talked about Fernando Mendoza doing his San Francisco media tour that when he sat down with Kay Adams, he talked about Grant Wilson being the glue of the football team. And he talked about Grant Wilson told Fernando that he wasn't going to touch Fernando's Heisman because Wilson was going to win it this year and it would be bad luck.
Goofball. You need guys on the team like that. I think when Fernando called him the glue, I actually don't even think that was a lie. Like when you're going through the dog days of winter workouts, the dog days of summer, fall camp, spring camp, you need a guy to kind of lighten things up every once in a while, especially when you're working with Coach Sig, right? Everything's all serious all the time. There's something to that. Like there were guys on my football team where that was their role. Like they were, kind of the goofballs, like good players, right? Like the one I'm thinking of walked on at UCLA. Like he wasn't like a bad football player, but he was like kind of the light up, keep things light around the locker room. Like that's important because it's a year-long grind. It never stops. They played the championship game, 3 weeks ago, and they're already back to it. Like it's a grind, man. They don't get much time off, if ever, right? And yeah, you need people like that on your ball club. And the fact that we were able to get him back through a waiver, fantastic. I think the fact Cignetti knows how to build not just a roster, but also just a really good locker room. Because when you're in those lower ranks, right, it really does come down to like how much talent disparity is there in Division III, right? Like probably not super high. And what comes down to it is strong locker rooms. And Cignetti always found a way to have one. So he was able to figure things out and learn, and hence winning a national title once he got his shot here. And shout out Grant Wilson, number two in your program, 6'3", 220, redshirt graduate. Stud. All right. Love it.
We are getting Grace Burger bobblehead night, Brad, on February 28th at Assembly Hall.
What a legend.
A legend. It is allegedly Grace Burger. There were some complaints about whether or not the bobblehead actually looked like Grace, but an absolute legend. Somebody who our mutual friend, actually friend of the show, guest on the show, Justin Berger, called her games in when we were in college. So obviously huge fans of Grace Burger. We called her the Cuz, and pumped to see her get honored like that, and really cool. That meant something to me, Brad.
Actually, one of my favorite women's basketball players of all time. She was a really good ball handler for her size in that sport. Basically projected like size-wise like a 2-3, but she was a straight-up point guard, like kind of like she's almost like, if I wanted to compare her to the men's game, she's a lot like a Kyle Anderson, where tall point guard, can distribute the wealth, can rebound well for her position, can score, can basically can do it all. It's just like a walking triple-double threat every night. And yeah, she deserves the ball at night. Good for her. She deserved a better shot in the WNBA. I never understood why she was having such a tough time. She was always she's so skilled, right? Like maybe she was like pretty strong physically as well. I was always pretty surprised that she had trouble getting a shot, like a real shot in the WNBA. I've always found that fascinating. So I'm glad she's getting her shine again. An important alum in IU athletics, modern history.
I agree. We saw we got alerted to, Brad, and kind of like a random Curt Cignetti stand. Did you see this on the timeline this week?
Curt Cignetti, what? A stand? What?
A stand.
Do you know what a stand? Like a fan?
Yeah.
Gotcha. I'm with you.
Kevin Durant, Brad.
Oh, yeah. I saw that. I was telling all my friends about it. I was like, holy shit. KD just tweeted about Curt Cignetti. He knows who Curt Cignetti is. What was cool about that is that not only did he name Curt Cignetti, he named LeBron he named like Michael Jordan, Batman, Spider-Man, like literally all the GOATs. Like, you know what I mean? Like all like the sickest people. And Cignetti's just on that list, like, and being tweeted by probably the greatest ISO scorer of all time, and Kevin Durant, or just like, I don't know, scorer, pick your spot guy. Like, I don't know, so many like different, what do you call them?
Types of scorers.
Well, not like types of scorers, but just like, I don't know, just like there's so many different like levels to it and intricacies where it's like, yeah, he's like one of the best scorers. He's a 7-foot shooting guard and one of the best scorers to ever do it. And to hear it from a guy like KD, like that's so cool. That is so cool that he named
it matters.
Well, I love how he threw in Jane Daniels too, because he's a Commanders fan, so he's just like, yeah, Jane Daniels. Like, it's so funny.
No, it's an awesome list. But just to be mentioned in that light is massive, not only for fans of Indiana, but in like recruiting too. Like you want to be like that is an unbelievably cool thing to have Kevin Durant be like, yeah, I'm a fan of that guy. So I don't know. That shit matters.
All in the program. Selling it.
I would like to point out, not that
Cignetti brings him in to talk to the team. That'd be pretty cool. That'd be
I'm
pretty
just
cool.
gonna say 700 likes when I retweeted it, 4.4K. Would it have gotten there anyway? Probably, but we'll fuel the Kevin Durant fire.
Yeah. Yeah, we love KD. Fan of the Hoosiers. Known Hoosier fan, Kevin Durant. Texas alum, known Hoosier fan. Or not alum, but Texas player.
No, I think it's alum. He's not a graduate if he didn't graduate. I think he's
alums are graduates. You have to be a graduate to be an alum.
We'll have to be stat corrected on that. I'm not sure.
Maybe. I don't know. I could be wrong about that because when we do the alums on the preview, sometimes we talk about guys that dropped out. So I might be wrong on that.
We'll need the stat correction. Brad, Devon Boykin was the 3rd highest graded safety in football this year.
Doesn't surprise me at all. Least surprising thing I've heard all day.
I really enjoyed Hoosier Connect's tweet during
I knew that too. Sorry for the attitude. That's on me.
What? No, you're good. I was just saying, I said I enjoyed Hoosiers Connect's tweet about during the Super Bowl, tweeting 30 minutes of highlights of the national championship game as one of the more boring Super Bowls of our lifetime is being played. I thought that was unbelievably hilarious. I appreciated it.
Yeah. It was it's a pretty boring Super Bowl. I had heads presented by FanDuel. Heads on the FanDuel Sportsbook. I had heads, cash, AJ Barner, first tutty, go Hoosiers, cash, Seahawks spread, and money line. That was the big whales. That was such an obvious play for me. Cash. Big day.
I hit a bunch of props, Brad. I had Mac Hollins anytime. I had largest lead, 14 and a half. I had Pat's first possession to end in a punt. I also had Kenny Walker longest rush, and I had Trey Henderson longest yak. And Trey Henderson hit at the end of the game.
Yeah, that was a late one. No, it was like the last play of the game, right?
Yeah.
And I think that was an awesome one. And I think I had a buddy who had also a FanDuel Sportsbook, had Travion Henderson over receiving yards, and I was able to cash from that play as well. Last play of the game.
Incredible. So in that sense, an unbelievably exciting Super Bowl, but the game wasn't great. But
when you have the FanDuel Sportsbook, even the worst of Super Bowls can be the best Super Bowl. That's an ad read. All right, there we go. I don't know. That was off the dome. I'm sorry.
Pat's freestyling right now.
Yeah.
Clint Kubiak, who was the offensive coordinator of the Seahawks, is now officially the head coach of the Raiders. He confirmed as much on the field after the game. He was then in Raiders gear either yesterday or today, talking to the camera, talking about how he met with Max Crosby already, and he's got a ton of film to watch about who they're going to take with the number 1 overall pick. Mark Davis was a lot less coy about the number 1 overall pick and was like, we hired Clint Kubiak because we're probably going offense with the first overall pick. So do with the head information what you will. But the Clint Kubiak is official, and now he can start putting together his staff in.
Did you say with the first overall pick or with the first pick? That's important.
Mark Davis?
Yeah. Do you say first overall pick or do you say first pick with the first pick? That's different.
Now I gotta. Next time you go on a tangent, I'm gonna find it.
If he says first overall pick, that means he's not trading back. That can happen.
You're right.
Like the Raiders have a lot of holes on their team. There's plenty of former first-round quarterbacks floating around there where you can use as a placeholder while you build the rest of the team up. I'm just floating out there. I don't think, I think it's for sure Fernando's 1 overall.
Well, here, let me read you.
I think it's only 90% sure he goes to Las Vegas.
This is going to answer your question. This is the quote from Mark Davis. He said, it came down to where we are this year, having the first pick in the draft and everything, and understanding that there's a good chance we'll go on the offensive side of the ball. So it might be a good chance that we would want a young offensive mind that could grow with somebody.
Okay. So it sounds like
Fernando Mendoza jerseys are already printed and about to be sold in the team store.
That's what it sounds like to me as well.
Funny enough, Brad, if you can bet on Fernando to win MVP, he's plus 1,500 or plus 15,000 right now with no team. Snugged in there with like JSN and Gibbs and
he was top of the NIL store for a long time until Keaton Wagler came around. And now he's the king of the NIL store now. But
our boy is growing up. He is and the last thing on I think this is the last thing on Fernando that I have written down, but he's the no-brainer quarterback one, obviously. And it was so obvious to me and you and Indiana Hoosier fans, but to watch the way people tried to spin it any other way this year was insane. And I was watching Ian Horitz put like highlights and different stuff on the timeline and just like thinking back to the way opposing fan bases and media pundits tried to paint Fernando versus what he actually was and where he's going to end up, especially like in culminating and being the number 1 overall pick. Like, fuck everybody. You know what I mean? Like, fuck all of you. Like that's what you guys deserve. I don't know. And I'm not saying that to the Indiana Hoosier fans. I'm saying that to the doubters and the haters and you guys look like idiots. Sorry.
Yeah, it was very obvious after the Illinois game that he was probably going 1 overall to me. When it doesn't matter what throw, like the back shoulders to Surratt, the efficiency in that game overall. Like you just want box score, watch them. Efficient. It was one of those games where we had more touchdowns than incompletions. The layered throw to EJ to the back of the end zone. Like there was a lot of good tape. And then you just go to next week where they're in Iowa. He throws that back shoulder to EJ Williams just from the opposite hash, like just stupid, gross, like what the hell? And just coming up with clutch plays at the end. Like if you didn't understand by mid-October that he was going 1 overall, like I question your ability to neutrally look at the game and understand what's going on without bias is my whole take. Coming from the master of the eye test.
That's a lot more eloquent than I put it, Brad. I would full-blown agree with you there. We got Curt Cignetti unfiltered.
My vernacular is eclectic. I'll tell you that.
That's a throwback for the listeners. We got Curt Cignetti unfiltered from Bison Drop on Monday, 30 minutes. It was incredible. I really enjoyed it. I thought there were some missed opportunities in there when he was talking about Derek Owings to like not ask him about Derek Owings when he brought him up by name twice. But I thought it was an incredible interview. I always love when those guys sit down together. And I don't know if you were able to listen to it, Brad, but there was a portion there where to me, if you just sat Curt Cignetti down and just read him the list of incoming transfers and let him talk about it like that, would have been like, I could have listened to that all day. And they did a couple of the transfers. Like he asked him about Josh Hoover and he asked him about Nick Marsh and Toby Unsansami and AJ Harris, I think was the other one he asked him about and Joe Brunner. And to listen to Sig break those guys down and to learn that Sig spends one-on-one time with all the portal guys. And like, he's not bringing anybody into the program that he didn't spend at least 30 minutes with. Talking to them, learning who they are, watching their film and all that good stuff. So really, really insightful talk. The Bison Drop's doing an awesome job. I hope this means that we're going to get the return of the player's perspective because it seems like Bison Drop and Hoosiers Connect are one and the same. So I hope the player's perspective returns because I really personally enjoyed that. But yeah, if you haven't checked that out, definitely go check that out from Bison Drop. Brad, did you see Audrey Marr's feature on Drew Evans?
No, I did not actually.
IU Media School grad, and I believe she's out in Wisconsin doing news, but she put together a feature on Drew Evans that made it to the timeline. I retweeted it. Definitely go check that out. It was a really cool just story about the type of player Evans is and his fit on the team and becoming a hometown hero type of deal. So really, really cool story. We got some news on EA Sports College Football 26 stars of the season for Ultimate Team. Brad, I know you're not a huge Ultimate Team player.
I actually saw this. I know exactly the names, by the way, which is a first on this show.
No, they take it away.
Yeah, the stars of the season they gave for the defensive side of the ball. They named 11 guys, right? 11 guys. I believe it was 3 D linemen, 3 linebackers, and then maybe it was 10 guys. 3 D line, 3 linebackers, 4 DBs. And free safety card, Louis Moore, Sweet Lou. Cornerback, D'Angelo Pons.
Not
And
just cornerback, Brad.
in Fisher.
Not just cornerback. Specifically, cornerback 1.
Love that. Good stat correction. I'll accept that.
And then Fisher at Mike linebacker. So yeah, obviously love seeing those guys get honored. We want it's just you want. You play well, you get good cards. That's the output of if the input's playing well, the output is you get a really cool card in college football 26. So keep those coming all day, every day. There is new turf at the BART, Brad. I don't know if you saw that.
Finally.
And it looks great. It looks like 10 years younger, I think is what I saw Respectable Adam say. And then there
see the money from the Natty is trickling down. And with those already strong programs, basketball, soccer, baseball, swimming, dive, they're just going to be elevated. Right? Not that our swim dive team needs to be elevated in any way. Not that our soccer team needs to be elevated in any way. But like it's all going to come back, right? Everyone's going to get fed a little bit. And it all starts with football. I'm glad Pam Witten and Scott Dolson made the decision of putting that to priority because it's all just going to come back to the rest of the sports. And what was already a very strong athletic department. The only thing really missing, it was actually quite amazing how strong of an athletic department it was with such low football. It was quite impressive that they were actually able to have all that success in other sports without even being a blip of relevance in football up until I'll say Tom Allen, Kalen DeBoer, 2018. Basically zero relevance to the sport. And yeah, it wasn't until Tom walked and Cignetti obviously ran all the way to the title that football wasn't a thing. And they've been able to, yeah, it's all going to come back. And basketball, I already called my shot, 2027 Sweet 16. Already called it. I don't even know who's going to be on the team next year. They're going to have to replace like 7 roster spots. So, or 10. Like I discounted the freshmen to bring in. So we already know those spots are taken. Dorn, Miles, maybe Rich Stitch are back. And that's really it. Like they're gonna have a whole new team next year, and I'm already calling Sweet 16 because I have confidence that they're going to be able to bring in some $2 million players, a few of them.
I like it, Brad. We got a little bit of insight into what Indiana's 2025 roster costs on the Wiltfong whip around. Pete Nakos confirmed Indiana's roster was around $20 million
this past year.
Mm-hmm.
Scary news for everyone else. That's all I gotta say. Scary, because I feel like that's low.
Yeah, I had a tweet a couple weeks ago of like, wait until everybody finds out what Indiana spent on this roster and they're going to lose their minds. And it's like everybody's racing to be the $60 million, $70 million roster. And it's like, make sure you're putting that money in the right spot first before you go and try and spend all of it.
Invest your money wisely. I feel like that's just a rule of thumb for life in and of itself. Yeah. That's all I got.
Indiana's Pro Day is going to be April 1st. That was from Field Yates. Dane Brugler came out with his top 100 players. Omar Cooper came in at number 27, meaning that's a first-round grade.
Mm-hmm.
Indiana's roster has 83 scholarships from our friend Jamie Jordan over at Hoosier Huddle and the IU Reactionary.
Let me see if that is – can you give me a sec to see if that is – accurate? Because I just want to understand, because I'm looking at my roster right now, and I'm including Tyler Cherry. I'm including Utzinger as a Scully. Wait, so hold on. Let me do some quick math. Let me use my handy-dandy calculator.
Maybe we have Jamie on next week, and this is a good time to go.
Is Jack Greer a walk on still. I'm not sure. Like, there's a lot of 19 scholarship D linemen, by the way. Crazy number. Insane. That is so many D linemen on Scully. 15 scholar. Assuming Clay Connor and Anthony Chung are still off scholarship, we have, I don't know if Quinn Warren's on scholarship or not. I'm at 87, so I think maybe Quinn Warren isn't on scholarship, and I don't know if he's including, maybe Tyler Cherry is no longer on scholarship. I'm not sure. I'm at a higher number than that in terms of guys on camp. Now, we still have LeVar Keys, Kenton Mondu, and PJ McFarland, who aren't even on campus yet, but that was included in my count. I imagine we're not going over 85. So whatever it is,
we're going to be, that affects the rev share number. We're
going to be tapped at 85. So, yeah, because we're going to value the money, and yeah, maybe Amari Kamara might go on walk on. I'm not sure. I don't know what's going to happen, but my number is 87, so I feel like it's a little off.
No, that's definitely off. There's no way.
I'll get back with Jamie. I
promise you they're not. I think James, I'm going to take – they're not –
How is Utzinger not on scholarship? Like, that's just – I'll fight for the kid here.
I think he is. I think your scholarship counts off, though.
That's that's LB4, so he's on the 2 deep. You know,
I would go as far as to say they're definitely not at 87 scholarships.
Okay.
I created a dope edit this week, Brad. I pinned it to my profile. You can go check that out if you haven't yet. But I want to wrap up the smoke here because I thought this was really interesting. I didn't really have a take when I saw it, and I figured I would just talk to you about it. Figured you'd have a lot to say. JD Pickle released a list of which programs are set up the best over the next 3 years. And I didn't see Indiana at number 1, and I just kind of kept scrolling. But his list was number 1, Oregon, number 2, Ohio State, number 3, Miami, number 4, Georgia, number 5, Notre Dame, number 6, Texas Tech, number 7, Indiana, number 8, Texas, number 9, Texas A&M, number 10, LSU.
I know. I remember seeing that same thing today, and I was taking a piss at the time, actually. I was at the urinal, and I was scrolling my phone, and I see that tweet. And obviously, anyone who watches the show knows thoughts just rush the brain immediately. Like, does he not know that Haynes and Shanahan are locked in for basically a 3-year window, 3-year championship window? We're talking dynasty here. Sig's locked in for 8, but like the point is we got Sig and Shanahan and Haynes for the next 2-3 years. So we have that going. And like, yeah, we could, JD Pickle, I'm sure on 3, like big stars guy. But like we have this crazy core, which is why I'm so excited to go through like our room deep dives of just these second year, first year guys coming in. We got a core of like 45, 50 of them now. Let me tell you. We're set up for success. Plenty. And I'll take top 10 all day, every day. Right?
Well, that's where you want to be. He went through the portal classes. They were 31 or 30 the first year. They were 27, I think, or even less than that the second year. And they were 17 this year.
It's just going to get less and less and less. It's still going to be a portal thing because, we still pretty top heavy, a lot of seniors at the top level. And it's like, okay, how many of these redshirt freshmen are going to be starters as redshirt sophomores? Probably not a whole lot, but they could definitely move up to the 2 deep for sure. A lot of them, as we'll see them thrive on special teams throughout the year. And we'll talk more into that. And that's how Cignetti operates, right? We're not going to throw in, if you want to be a 30-year guy and play, like you got to be a Charlie Becker and a Nick Marsh. And a Roe Hardy level guy, where it's like we're talking like long NFL careers for all 3 of those guys mentioned. Like you got to be one of them dudes. So
Landino and other,
and it's hard to be one of those dudes, right? But I'm saying like as a core, as a unit, like there's a lot of iron sharpening iron. This is by far the deepest roster Indiana has, and like all the last couple of freshman classes that he's brought in, they've been they've been loading up. And I guess we'll just run through the roster real quick. I can barely see, but
you can barely see. No, I was gonna.
I mean,
Oh,
what's good is that even though I can't read it, I know who they are because I know the roster, which is helpful.
is this better?
I'm sure. Yeah, actually, it is a little bit better.
All right. Perfect. I wanted to try and fit as many of the guys in the picture as possible, but there is no good way to do this with having everyone's face and the number and whatever. So I think, Brad, the best way for us to, because we got the official roster update is what I'm going to call it today. New numbers for like returning guys, potentially numbers for the transfers, numbers for the freshmen, all that good stuff. Weights for the guys who weren't on the roster, height and weights and things like that. So we'll go through it, point out some things that maybe stand out to you. But if not, we'll kind of flash it on the screen and move on. So you game for that, Brad?
Yeah, I could send little clips of these guys for sure.
So we'll start here.
Yeah, Carson Williams, number 0, the Montana State, a defending national champion in his own right, but a transfer coming in. Definitely a young core guy that we're bringing in, a year 3 guy. Was a freshman All-American last year at the FCS level, very similar to a Pons, even though Pons was at the FBS level. This is a guy that's going to be competing with Jalen Bell for the quarterback 4 spot role. He will be used on special teams. He will, he doesn't have redshirt eligibility, so they will find ways to use Carson Williams, number 0, sick number. Good for him. Shout out Johnny Brady, the last number 0.
Obviously, we all know and love Amari Farrell. He's still wearing number 1. He's back for another year, which is obviously huge for the back end of the defense. There was talk about Amari being the second best communicator on this current team, so that obviously bodes really well moving forward. Turbo Richard, though, Brad. Turbo Richard's wearing number 1.
See that 6'2", 202? That's an NFL body. That's an NFL body at safety. Got one. All right. Turbo Richard wearing the Roman Hemby number. Comes in at 5'8", 208. So actually or 203.
5'9", 204 on the Indiana website, Brad.
5'9"?
5'9", 204.
Oh, it is 5'9". I had 5'8". Okay. Yeah, so a little taller than we were expecting, and I don't think that's a problem. Reminds me, Maurice Jones-Drew body. Love that. Love that. Love that shit. Oh, you scrolled past someone, I think. Who's the other?
No, I didn't. It was Turbo.
Oh, nope. Byron Baldwin, one of our favorites. Should be the backup rover. Will be in the rotation with the DBs this year. Excited for him.
Yeah, I think he's sneakily one of the best leaders on this team. I'm super, super excited to watch him play this year. He, if you listen to Curt Cignetti talk, was a starter at points during last summer going into this season. He got hurt. Obviously, we know he missed a bunch of time, but he was still contributing both on special teams and in specific packages as a true freshman in Indiana's playoff run. Like in Indiana, Byron Baldwin Jr. could have redshirted this year, and Indiana chose to burn it anyway. That should tell you everything you need to know about how they feel about the type of talent that kid has. But yeah, he's to me, he was one of the guys when they were first building the class of 2024. Like I remember going crazy about when he committed, just listening to the things he was saying. And you just look at the way like the guys on the team and the guys around him respond to him. It's I'm really excited to see what year 2 in the program looks like for Baldwin.
Can I say something really funny? We've gone through 4 players, and there's about 3 NFL guys cumulative, where I'm saying like Baldwin's an NFL guy, Farrell's an NFL guy, and like Turbo and Carson, like maybe, probably, right? Like crazy. We're not even we're 4 guys in. All right.
Yeah. We talked about Grant Wilson, the glue. He's wearing number 2 again this year. To have him in the room, obviously Fernando credited Alberto a ton with helping him learn the offense, but the other guy that he gave a ton of praise to throughout the year was Grant Wilson. Great to have him around.
So have him there with Hoover, going to be super helpful. The class, the team comedian, it seems like.
And then Hollywood Bell is still number 3, another year in the program. He's another one of those dudes, like same class as Baldwin, who like he's one-time LSU commit. Like you talked about him being physically ready when we went to go see the UCLA game. Like that's a guy who was on the field as a true freshman. I wasn't playing like meaningful snaps. Like it was towards the end of games, but he was on the field. And that's really important for the development of a young player. And that's somebody who you'd hope takes a step on special teams this year.
Yeah, didn't use a red shirt. That speaks volumes. Cortez Rupert, 156, eat a sandwich. All right.
He gets the Omar Cooper number though, which is
Yeah, we're
nice
excited.
little,
East St. Louis,
yeah,
super talented.
You're right. Brad's right. Hey, listen, you're 5'11", $156 in this receiver room. Like Cortez Rupert is probably going to redshirt.
Hit him a peanut butter banana sandwich right now. All right. And, no offense. Like I needed that. I needed peanut butter banana sandwiches to put on my own.
No, dude, he's a true freshman. Like in a perfect world, when you're building out a program, like your true freshmen come in, and if they're absolute like top of the food chain guys, like they play, and if not, like they're not playing. Like it's okay.
It's funny because we were talking about this before. Where it's like and me and Keezer, you guys don't know how big we are, but like basically Keezer can't call any of the guys small. I can't.
I can't call Cortez Rupert small. He's Rupert. Huge. You kidding me? 5'11", $155. Guy's massive.
I'm bigger than a lot of these like smaller receiver types. I'm a bigger possession receiver back in my day, but if I call a guy small, it's not like it's with love. Okay, I eat a sandwich with love, Brad. All right.
Davion Chandler wearing number 4 again. Obviously, another guy who didn't burn his red shirt. Lawrence North, track guy, scored that big touchdown against Purdue. Really, really excited again for year 2 for Davion Chandler.
My nominee for punt returner this year. I think that'd be really fun. I think you'd be good at it.
Let's talk AJ Harris, Brad.
AJ Harris, the Penn Stater.
He gets the Aiden Fisher number.
Comes in a little lighter than we thought. Wearing number 4 on defense, a very special number. I'm glad it didn't go to another linebacker, honestly. I like that DB took it. Kind of give it some fresh legs for a year. AJ Harris looking to bounce back. He's a guy, when we talk about how this team is going to find an edge, like he's going to be an edge guy. He's going to be a guy that's going to have a chip on his shoulder. He wanted to be in this year's draft. Isn't. He's in winter workouts in Bloomington, Indiana. Not all was what he was expecting a year prior. But I think he's happy where he landed. I don't think there's any spot you'd want to be in if you're trying to, restart what was once a very promising, like potential 3 years and out of there college career. And glad we were able to scoop him up because he's a true senior, right? Like that means he came in as a true freshman and played like a Bell, like a Baldwin. Like he's a guy. He's one of them ones, right? He just needs to bounce back, and what better place than Sig Rehab?
Brad, we have spent a decent amount of time talking about the fact that when Cignetti speaks, we need to listen. If you didn't listen to Cignetti on Bison Drop talking about AJ Harris, I'll leave it at that. He's like, kid's gonna play and he's gonna be damn good. That was my takeaway. Like it was just one of those things where Sig was like, he's like, nothing's earned, and you can't. There's a spot open because Pons left, and you got everything's there. But he was like you can just tell when Cignetti likes a player and likes what the guy's bringing in. I go back to like he spent 30 minutes with all these guys, and like he's not bringing AJ Harris into this program if he felt like he was some 5-star who was full of himself, who didn't have the right attitude. He just wouldn't be here. So if you look at AJ Harris, the talent through that lens, I'm excited for AJ Harris.
Yeah, I'm not going to say height was ever an issue with our cornerback room, because it wasn't. Pons is so good, but it is nice having a 6'1" corner. That's all I'll say. I'm a big fan of tall corners. I just am. Like as most people are. I'm also of the thinking like you can't put too much weight into that as well. Anyways, I'm just a fan of it. I like a good 6'4" corner. A guy that can literally match up with AJ Brown, like a Brandon Browner. On the Legion of Boom, like they had Sherman, who's like 6'1", 6'2" in his own right. Then it's like, okay, let's try going on the other side. It's like you're dealing with 6'4" Brandon Browner. Like oh my, like that. That's the reason why the Seahawks were so freaking good.
I mean, yeah, we just talked about, but there are more important things, obviously, like arm length and athleticism and positioning. Like we just saw D'Angelo Pons play arguably one of the best corners you can play, and to go from
overlooked tangible would be anticipation. I've said this all the time. Anticipation. Pons is one of the best anticipation players I've ever seen, which makes up for his 5'9" stature. for that.
Well, he's
The
also a
fact that he's
freak
able to see
athlete. He's
things
got
before
long
they
arms.
happen.
Like he's a dog. Like there's a lot of other things. But
Yeah.
from one number 5 to a new number 5, Brad, this one, when the jersey number changes came out, this is the one that jumps right off the page immediately. He's not a guy who needed to change his jersey, but to go from 21 to number 5. Number 5 is a nice linebacker number, Brad. And this guy just might be the best player in the country. I don't know how else to say it.
There was something that I said when you remember 2017 Jags? Shout out, by the way.
Aren't you a Bears fan?
I am a Bears fan, but the 2017 Jags, all everyone was saying was 5 is nice, as in Blake Bortles. I'm going to be saying 5 is nice all offseason. 5 is nice. Best player on our team.
I like it. LeBron Bond, Brad, wearing number 6 again. I thought it was really cool. We'll get to Nick Marsh in a second. I thought Nick Marsh may have tried to work his way into number 6. Obviously he ended up choosing a different number. It's coming up here in a second. But LeBron Bond, another one of those guys, did not burn his red shirt, was on the field for specific packages, obviously brings a lot of speed to the table. Another guy in a really deep wide receiver room that's just gonna have to find his, like, he's just like, they have a bunch of guys who just like in any way, shape, or form are gonna have to play. And I don't know if that's special teams or if that's packages or whatever, but they're so deep. But like that's another kid, insanely talented, who was able to find his way onto the field this year.
Jet sweeps, crossers. I mean, there's going to be ways to get Bond the football. It's just, there's going to be times when we're playing, big battles where maybe as a sophomore, we're going to have to be heavy feeding Becker and Marsh. But, as we're getting through the dog days of the schedule, we're playing our Wisconsin, Maryland's, right? Like, it's time for Bond to shine, baby. Like, let's get him out there. Like, let's give some guys some breathers a little bit and maintain freshness, which is a big theme in the Cignetti program. Having guys like Bond and Davion Chandler are going to be very helpful to give guys keep guys fresh throughout the entire grueling Big Ten schedule.
And number 6, Brad, is staying on defense, obviously. But it's going to a different part of the field. Like you just said, not seeing another lineman wearing the number 6, like defensive lineman, kind of feels right. Preston Zachman's going to be rocking 6 in the defensive backfield. Your thoughts, Brad?
6'2", 202, NFL body. Love it. Redshirt graduate or redshirt senior, whatever. Old ass dude, grown man, playing safety. Don't let the people tell you he's some in the box safety, white boy, basically a linebacker playing safety. Like, no, this guy's a cover guy. He is a ball hawk, can make plays. Him and Farrell are like very, very similar players. So just having them, that's going to allow them to do different things with them, where sometimes Zachman's going to be the free safety ball hawk, and sometimes Farrell's going to be the ball hawk, and they're going to alternate. Like, they're not necessarily going to be doing the same thing every time, whereas more so like Lou Moore was the ball hawk, and then Farrell was like kind of roaming around more so than Lou Moore was. So the versatility that Zachman and Farrell bring together, being paired, is so cool. I can't wait to see it on the field. Chidi Obiazer, baby. Oh, my God. That guy's going to slot inside. He was listed at 6'6", 275. Comes in at 6'5", 272. Basically the same thing. That's a guy who's going to play inside, outside. Just part of a very, very loaded. I mentioned 19 scholarship guys on this defense. There's about like 9-10 guys I feel like are going to be playable going into this next year. And I don't think any of them are freshmen, which is kind of maybe like 1 or 2 of them are freshmen. And like, this is a guy that's just going to be, like I mentioned, like the big heavy set, like when we want to go like 5D linemen, where we could go Chidi Obiazer, we can go Yelly, Tucker, Landino, maybe even Kyler Garcia. We could even go Toby at Obasami. We could go Ndukwe there. Where I see Josh Burnham there. He comes in a little lighter than I anticipated. So that big goal line group is going to be Chidi Obiazer is going to be a big reason why when you're trying to get a 3rd and 1 on the Hoosiers, it's going to be really hard. It's going to be very difficult to do that. I love me a 6'6", 280 type body at D end. I just love it. That's NFL body. NFL body. There's a lot of NFL bodies on this team, and I think that's a new thing that we haven't seen, which is scary for everyone else. Like I keep saying, like a lot of more NFL bodies than we've ever seen in this Indiana program ever.
Well, Brian Haynes did jokingly tell, I think, Nick Roadcop that we were going to get bigger.
Yeah, and Chidiaye Obiezer's the definition of getting bigger. Let's just say that.
And number 7 too, I love it. Shaz Preston, Brad, also wearing number 7. Sig was one of the guys that Cignetti talked about. Called just experienced guy who's been around, and he said he knows what it is.
Love it. Yeah, I mean, this guy was recruited by Nick Saban Bama. Like, what are we talking about here? Like, this guy is very talented, has the right stuff. You don't get that Nick Saban offer without having the right stuff. Like, this is why we keep drawing comparisons to this, because as good of a recruiter as Nick Saban was, like, he did get guys with the right stuff. Like, Minkah Fitzpatrick had the right stuff. Like, yeah, he was a 5-star DB. He had the right stuff. Derrick Henry, yeah, set the school record, set the state record in rushing in the state of Alabama, had the right stuff. Bryce Young, 5-star quarterback out of California, had the right stuff, right? Like, it's not rocket science, right? And Shaz Preston, just another example of just bringing guys in. Comes from, does he say he's from Louisiana? A Louisiana receiver. I mean, you know, talking about like Odell, Jamar Chase, Justin Jefferson. Like, not only those guys who go to LSU, they're from the great state of Louisiana. Shaz Preston, just another one on the line.
Then obviously you talk Josh Burnham, a little bit lighter. Obviously he dealt with some injuries last year, but wearing number 8. Do you think it bothers the Notre Dame fans that Josh Burnham and Nick Marsh are both wearing number 8?
I don't know. Does 8 have some sort of symbolism to Notre Dame? Not sure.
No, but Josh Burnham played there, and they were printing the Nick Marsh shirts already, so I think it's kind of funny. But
yeah, I think it's great. He comes in a little lighter. We were anticipating 260. I think he still doesn't really change. I think he starts alongside Toby, who we're going to go through later. But yeah, and then we'll go to Nick Marsh, who's crazy to say going to be wide receiver 1 on this team.
You got some pushback on this, Brad. I heard you say it last week. I didn't say anything in the moment because to be honest, I don't know. Like Nick Marsh is that damn good. Like he really is that damn good that like if he was on a team like Indiana, like what would his
1A and 1B? Like it's 1A and 1B. It's the loaded roster that we get to, celebrate that we have 2 wide receiver 1s, Nick Marsh and Charlie Becker, both true juniors, both first-round picks in the 2027 draft. And they're both on our team. They're going to make Josh Hoover's life very easy. Nick Marsh is the highly touted one, the one that's always been known, right? The one everyone has known about Nick Marsh since he committed to Michigan State as a true freshman at Michigan State his next year, and so on. Charlie Becker kind of burst onto the scene, former 3-star, just different stories, right? They're blossoming. This is why we talk about it. It's hard to evaluate high school players because you don't know what they're going to look like when they're 21 years old. And Nick Marsh and Charlie Becker are now 21 years old. They're now eligible to drink, right? Like they're finally becoming men, right? And as true juniors, and just super excited for to see both those guys in the field. Like pick your poison. Like we already talked about Shaz Preston, Tyler Morris is right there. Like pick your like that those 4 at receivers. Like yeah, we talk about like our tight ends are so young. We have 6 freshmen tight end and no one else. It's like, dude, we want to go 10 personnel with this team with Tyler Morris, Marsh, Shaz Preston, and Charlie Becker. Like that is the best 10 personnel in the country. Doesn't matter who's at running back. Doesn't matter.
Yeah, I love it. Pointing out Tyler Morris still with the team, practiced with the team from the Rose Bowl on, obviously getting healthier. So huge to have him back. The experience, the speed. Obviously, he looks to be the starting slot going into next year. So we were excited to watch Tyler Morris play in the Indiana offense this year. What that would have looked like, a healthy Tyler Morris adding to what they already put on the field, seems terrifying. But it's awesome that he's sticking around. And then Seonta Stewart, one of the freshmen last year who did end up redshirting, a guy who we really like in that class, a football player through and through. Another one of those NFL body defensive backs, Brad, that you like to talk about.
NFL body, he's 6'1", 203. I remember you talking to me how he's going to be a big corner. Like, no, this guy's a safety. I was trying to tell you. He put on the weight. He ate that peanut butter and banana sandwich.
You were trying to tell me he was playing corner. I was trying to tell you he was going to play linebacker.
Oh.
We were both wrong.
I shot that down real quick.
You did.
He's a hard-handed DB. He's gonna be awesome. And then Ryland Gandy, oh my god, that's our corner 3, by the way. And he was like a starter at like a Pitt defense 2 years ago that was really good. He was a starting DB there. Like he's our cornerback 3 right now. Like if we want to go dime, throw Gandy and Baldwin out there, like and that's just assuming Sanks is on the bench somehow. But yeah, I don't like we're loaded at DB.
Do you think we play like 3-2-6 at some point this year?
No, we're not putting 5 guys in the box. I mean, unless they go 5 wide, like there wouldn't be any reason to do that. It's just not something you do consistently. Like you need guys in the box, or else they'll expose you in the run. But it's just gonna be the amount of depth we have. It's like, knock on wood, no injuries, but it's like injury here and there. It's not really gonna hurt this team all too much with the amount of depth we have at almost at every position, basically.
QB1's wearing 10, Brad.
That's where he wore you at last year. He comes in a little smaller than we were expecting. 6 foot 190. I don't care. Gunslinger gamer. He was 1.6. He was 6 foot 190 last year. Like he did just fine. All right, we're good. Okay, cool.
Yeah, cut on the tape.
That's eye test for you right there.
If you have any questions about Josh Hoover, go watch him throw the football. It alleviates all stresses, I promise.
Yeah, seriously.
And Jacob Bell back in the program.
Jacob Bell is developing in the system under year 2. Under these guys, we saw Mendoza as a redshirt freshman. I mean, Jacob Bell was probably a little more highly touted than Alberto Mendoza. How legitimate was that? I don't know. Players develop players, right? It's kids turning into men. It's hard to evaluate. It's ups and downs. Just wishing the best. Keep putting in the work, kid. Toby, awesome Sami. 6'3", 240. Basically a clone of Daniel Ndukwe, which is pretty crazy to say. Like they're just
Cignetti called it unusual movement skills, and so the follow-up question was, what was that? And he's unbelievably athletic, super twitchy, and just moves like people you like, just a different type of mover. That's what Toby, or that's what came to mind for Cignetti when he was talking about Toby.
We're gonna be so scary.
So good.
I feel bad.
And in Duke,
I almost feel guilty about how good our D line is gonna be.
Our D line is so good, dude.
We have like 7 starters. We have 7 starters on the D line. I've on my depth chart, I have 7 guys in bold because I think we have 7 legit starters on the team at D line. The rest are freshmen that they brought in through the past couple of years, and those guys are all good too. And I'm scared for everyone, like, to be quite honest with you.
I echo that sentiment, Brad.
All I'm saying, starting Rover would be the reason why Baldwin doesn't play every snap. He's very talented, true junior, so he might be coming back next year. Brings a lot of versatility. Can play safety, can play Rover, can play corner.
He's wearing 13, Brad. Obviously, Kellen Wyatt wore 13 last year, but no offensive 13. So Elijah Surratt Memorial.
We don't retire numbers in IU athletics.
No, I know.
I hope we keep it that way.
No, I just think I don't think that was like a nobody can wear 13.
Because I think retiring numbers implies that you're not going to have great players like that in the future, to be quite honest. And I love that mentality that, like, sort of like the same thing of like not having a name in the back on for basketball or something like that, right? This idea of like we just don't retire numbers in any sport at IU, I think is a great tradition that we need to keep on. Very similar to like not storming the court when we have big wins, things like that. Super awesome. But yeah, just
I like Shanks wearing 13, and then Maverick Geske, obviously he was I believe he led Indiana in passing yards at his senior year of high school.
Walk on QB5. Kane Turner, LB 3. Yeah, LB 3. Will be the redshirt senior, the typical, 6'2", 230. That seems to be the physical mark that we go for a linebacker. He got a pick in the Maryland game last year and stepping in for an injured Aiden Fisher. He has already had the experience of having to step in for an injured All-American. He's going to have 2 ahead of him coming into this year, so him playing relief there is going to be so vital. Glad we were able to get him back because it wasn't necessarily set in stone. He was thinking about retiring. He did his 4 years. He's coming back for a 5th year. glad he's back. I think he provides much needed depth to what is a very young linebacking core in the back end.
Nico's wearing 15, Brad. He's as automatic as it gets. Jamar Owens, the freshman, wearing number 16.
Love that number. Pick for him. Eat a sandwich. All right. Freshman, excited for his development. He's basically like anticipated redshirt this year. Super excited for his future with the program. But yeah, they brought him in for a reason. He's not there. I just worry, imposter syndrome won't be a team. There's very few like freshmen that they brought in over the past couple of years that have transferred. I think only Philistine, and I don't even think anyone else, to be honest, that have left the program yet. So even though he's going to be anticipated to use a red shirt, don't really see him going anywhere. Excited to see his development. Excited to see that weight number go up. And once he's ready to go play, because it seems like he's got to get to, if he's at 160 right now, he's anticipated to play safety.
He's going to get the 185.
So he's going to have to put on 40 pounds in the next 3 years, which seems pretty, when you put it like that, not crazy at all. So
it's doable. Very, very, very doable.
At 6 foot, he probably just needs to get to 195. Lou Moore, that's about, he's more of a Lou Moore build, so like, probably only needs 30, to get on the field.
Yeah.
Daniel
Ndukwe is wearing 17, obviously.
DN 4 on this team, but like honestly, it's like we have 4 starting DNs, and he's just one of them. People don't talk about this. Like we brought in all these edge guys, then like we were already returning a guy that had 2 sacks and a strip sack and a block punt in the quarterfinal, in the semifinal game in the playoffs. Like
he had a block punt.
Yeah, true junior, one of those like special guys that we have, like. Another potential NFL play. I haven't called out enough NFL guys, but he's another like potential NFL guy. Like,
well, dude, and Ndukwe's a guy who me and you sat there and watched his huddle, and we're like, "What position does this guy play?" It says like wide receiver, safety, linebacker. Like what? And he's playing special teams, blocking punts last year for Indiana. So yeah, it's
DN that played receiver in high school is a scary, scary thought, especially now that he's up to 6'3", 2, and it's probably going to be around like 250 going into this year.
Funny story about
Wasserstrom. Woo! Walk on. Love those guys.
Yep. Funny thing about Wasserstrom was he posted like that he was coming back, and one of the strength guys like misread the message and was like thanked him for all he'd done for the program, basically, and then I had to like delete it and be like, my bad. Because he did. He jumped in the portal and then pulled himself out. It's a new number for him though. I think he was 17, or I think he was 22 last year.
He was 17. A Cignetti was 22.
Oh.
Wasserstrom's
and then
he actually had a catch last year, by the way.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah.
Parker Elmore wearing number 18.
Notable number for a true freshman tight end.
I believe Sig said he's dealing with an injury, and he's not going to be ready until the. Oh wait, no, Gibbs is dealing with an injury. Sorry, Gibbs is dealing with an injury.
Elmore's also injured, from what I've heard.
Yeah, Elmore is injured, and
we have a lot of injuries on the tight end room. As young as they are, they're also very injured right now. Elmore at 225 needs to get up to 240 before he sees the field.
True freshman getting number 18, Brad.
Mm-hmm. Good sign. There's a lot of buzz around Elmore long-term here. He's a long-term guy.
Yeah.
He's the long play. There's some other tight ends that we brought in that might be playing right away. He's more of a long-term guy as he fills out is what we'll call it.
Billy Gowers is wearing 19, Brad. No other changes here for Zachary Smith and Sean Cuono. I'm excited to watch Cuono, or I think it's Cuno, actually. Cuno running this offense. And obviously, Zachary Smith's a guy both of us are really high on. Excited to watch him in this defense.
Yes, I like Zach Smith as he continues to develop. Cuono's going to develop. He's going to be in that Kobe Martin role this next year. So now he's going to get the garbage time touchdowns. It'll be fun to kind of see him, see what he looks like on the field this upcoming year. Jacob Savage wearing 21. I know everyone's talking about 21 Savage. The number that I actually look at is 230. This is a guy that knew he was going to be coming on campus, was listed at 215 on most recruiting sites. This is a guy that, so when you're a recruit and you're end your high school season and you're about to go into winter workouts, they hand you a pamphlet. This is your workout, your diet. Before you even step on campus, you have this little packet that you got to do. Jacob Savage did his packet. He's up to 230, 6'1", stepping onto campus. He's ready to go. He's ready to go. He wants a special team spot as a true freshman. This is a guy that might be playing on special teams right away.
I find that I have, like, not that I don't love all the guys that we choose to bring in, and like obviously we talk about the recruiting and the development of this staff, but I kind of like gravitate towards certain guys in each class. Like Jacob Savage is definitely one of my guys in the class of 2026. Like he is, and he was a guy who was playing both ways for Ryle High School in Kentucky. Like that was a dude who was playing running back for his senior season. Now to add that weight on, come in at linebacker size for Brian Haynes' defense. Like we talked about the fact that maybe Indiana looks to add a linebacker in the portal. I don't know, man. Like Jacob Savage is 230. Caden Turner is back. We're gonna get to Henry Olinger in a second, who's also like the weight numbers looking nice too. Like it's tough to put a lot. It's tough to take a young player and start them at linebacker in this Brian Haynes defense because they ask so much of the defense, like of the second level defenders, specifically of the linebackers. But
for him to be able to be at that weight, be able to see Big Ten speed on special teams, I think will be really helpful for his development.
It's significant. Jerrion Campbell wearing
it will accelerate his development within the program.
Yeah. Jerrion Campbell wearing number 22. He's up at 218.
One of the bigger size differentials. He was listed at like 5'10", 190 on most recruiting sites. He comes in at 5'8", 220, kind of like a Lee Beebe build. Love that. Future bruiser on this team. Anticipated redshirt though, just based on the depth, right? But I mean, maybe he breaks in. With that size, like he can challenge Cuono. Why not?
Jamari Sharp obviously wearing 22. Ended the national championship with an interception. He's locked in as the cornerback one on this team. I don't think that's any question.
6'1" corner. Love it.
Henry Olinger, Brad's wearing number 23.
Love that. Comes in a little light, about what we were anticipating though. Same with Jaden Williams. Very light. Jaden Williams anticipated red shirt.
This isn't doing
Olinger since he's already on campus, can get to a point where he's ready to go on special teams.
The screen isn't doing it justice for how thick Olinger's neck is. Like you had like the Bones Jones, like you just look at him and he's
NFL neck.
Yeah,
NFL neck.
Henry Olinger's got an NFL neck, Brad.
I love that. That's great. We got more NFL necks on our team.
He's another guy who is playing running back and linebacker and is going to have the opportunity to put on a bunch of weight in this weight room. Like Jane Williams, like those three guys, Savage, Olinger, and Williams, learn the names, remember the faces. Like those guys are all going to be fixtures on this Brian Haynes Indiana defense for a very long time. Like they are all three individually very, very good football players. They're all on campus right now. And those three in particular were very clearly recruited to be the three linebackers for Brian Haynes. Like this is
Jaden Williams, probably won't see the field as quickly as Olinger and Savage.
Jaden Williams had 17
could
tackles.
End up being the best one out of all.
Jaden Williams had 17 tackles in a high school game this year. Are you kidding me?
He could end up being the best one.
The group of linebackers coming in are as strong as any position group that.
It feels like we're starting to do like a room build, so we better watch ourselves.
I know we do. That's why I'm trying to move it on quickly. But in terms of like those three guys, Olinger and Williams and Savage, like that room is so sick.
Yeah, we're only at
23, 24 for this. Yeah, no, we got to.
Devontae Timms looks to be ready to go.
Yep.
205, ready to go. He did his pamphlet. Love it. Cade Kaiser,
number 25.
I didn't know he had this guy. 6'5", 207, walk-on receiver. Huge dude. Yeah, I was looking at some of his stats. He set like some records for his school. Like he had 17 receiving touchdowns as a junior in high school. He just got him as a walk-on. Like, sure, 6'5", 207. Yeah, fucking yeah. Let's run some goal line fades for Cade Kaiser, and when we're up 60 on Maryland, let's do it.
Casimir Hicks is wearing number 27. Another guy who most likely, given that the depth in that room and the fact that he's 162 listed right now, probably going to redshirt. But when you talk about dominating your state, an unbelievably important ad in the class of 26 for Indiana.
100%. Let's keep it going.
Kobe Martin, Lee Beebe Jr. I'm pumped about this backfield tandem going into the season, Brad. 28, 29 in your program, no changes there. Kyler Kropp, number 30 as well.
Yeah, excited to see. We already talked about Turbo a little bit with the Mojo build. Lee Beebe has the build to be a bell cow if needed. But don't worry, we also have Kobe Martin and Turbo Richard, who all are kind of different backs, which is really exciting. Like BB's going to be like power back, main guy, RB1 right now. Turbo Richard, more of a scat third down back. And then Kobe Martin's just a well-balanced guy, like very similar to like a Kalon Black and a Roman Hemby, can kind of just do it all, does everything very well. But yeah, no block, no rock. Let's figure out who's going to get more snaps. It's
Yeah, who's picking up the blitz?
Camp's going to be so fun. Oh my god.
I'm so pumped. PJ Nelson's wearing 30, Brad. No changes here. Anthony Chung, 31. Garrett Reese, 33. Obviously, though, the big thing that sticks out with Reese, no red shirt.
No red shirt. That's notable. PJ Nelson developing. We'll see what we're able to get his weight up to going into, because a lot of these just carried over.
Yeah,
so I'm sure he's heavier at this point. We'll see where he's at come the fall updates.
Yeah, that is I'm glad you pointed that out, because I meant to say that at the top. But do you, obviously the weights for the transfer, I think I did say it at the top, but the weight for the transfers and for the freshmen are obviously accurate because they weighed them when they showed up. But the returning weights for the guys who were on the team last year, they just pulled them right off the website from last year. So yeah, can't put too much stock. Like I'm not saying Garrett Reese is 230 right now. You know what I'm saying? But I don't know if PJ Nelson's 219. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I'm sure he's a little heavier. Utzinger, LB4, should be on scholarship. Patty Nakatir, long distance kicker and kickoff specialist. And then Clay Connor and Chung I have on the depth chart just because I feel like they're doing a thing where they're playing Chung with the twos so they wouldn't burn a red shirt for Ciante Stewart Jr. is kind of my theory there. I think they'll be involved on special teams. That's why they're on the depth chart. Clay Connor and Anthony Chung are important pieces of this team. They've established themselves as such. I'm going to give more praise. I'm going to keep more of an eye on these walk-ons as I'm seeing. It really is like those two guys are a real testament, because when Cignetti got there, their red shirt, they were freshmen. And I think it's a real testament to the program and the system and the development that those guys, Clay Connor is 6'4", 207, very physically gifted athlete, right? But they're able to convert a guy that wasn't recruited at all to a contributor on a national championship team. So take that for what you will. Heath Kaiser, McConnell, Gibbs comes in a little shorter than what we were looking at, but then you look into it a little bit. Is that Riley Nowakowski, 6'2", 230? Oh my God. A guy that seems to be ready at that size to play right away. Glad that he's coming into winter workouts at that weight. Could be the true freshman that plays the most out of that tight end group coming in.
He is dealing with an injury, though, and I believe we're not going to see him until the fall, which is unfortunate.
Brutal.
But yeah, coming in at 230, obviously we're really excited about the long-term future of that tight end room. He's another one of those young guys that adds to that. Quentin Clark, Keyshawn Calhoun, no changes there, 40 and 41. Looking for Calhoun to get on the field a little bit more this year. You talked about a lot of the depth we have on the defensive line. He's one of those guys that isn't really getting talked about at all, that we were very excited about when he committed. And then Quentin Clark was a monster on special teams this year. He's another guy that if they decided that maybe wanted to move back to linebacker or use him on the end, another one of those really athletic guys that they trust to go out there and tackle.
I think when you talk about Clark and Calhoun, a lot of versatility. Calhoun could go inside, outside. Clark even more so can go from D-line to linebacker. So like a lot of versatility. See Quentin Clark being a real special team staple on this team, probably going to be on all 4 units this upcoming year. Cavante Hugan, redshirt, is going to be a freshman at that weight, likely redshirt. Glad he's on campus. Scarface, just so much depth ahead of him. It's going to be tough to see him get on the field, but a very highly touted 4-star guy coming in. Excited to see him develop. 42
shout out to
great
Booker High School. And shout out Greg Weeks, who commented on one of our videos talking about Hugan and talking about he was a Booker guy who played football at Indiana. So it was really cool to kind of make a mini connection with him. So he shouted out Cavante. Very cool. Bryce Taylor, 43. Amari Kamara, 44. Sam Lindsay, long snapper, 45.
3 national champs, just back with the boys, back with the fellas.
Lincoln Murph, 45. Bones Jones, 46. Jackson Tolley, 47. Jackson Tolley, freshman, long snapper.
Love that. And it's interesting, good size too. Like, is that a scholarship? Probably a walk-on guy, but, could challenge Sam Lindsay if, Sam Lindsay.
I don't think he's the challenge to No, it's Clausen's the long snapper, Brad.
Yeah, no, Clausen's the long snapper right now. But Tolley and Lindsay, we got 3 long snappers. They take special teams very seriously at Indiana. Let me tell you.
I love it.
Bones Jones still being 46. What a lunatic.
NFL neck.
NFL neck, Looney Tunes guy, leader on this
Returning
team.
All-American.
Yeah.
Speaking of Drew Clausen, wearing number 49. Drew saw number 50. Another one of those defensive linemen. We talk about the depth on this defensive line. Like,
dude, they're all these D tackles are all like 280 plus. It's pretty crazy. Hall 6'2", 306, redshirt freshman. Like, oh man, it's scary, man. It's scary hours for these guys. And
Clayton Allen wearing 52. Roddy White, freshman, wearing 55. Another one of those guys, 6'1", 294, good size already. Probably going to redshirt again because we keep talking about the insane amount of depth we have on the defensive line. Like, think about some of the redshirt freshmen this year, Brad. Like, it's nuts. It's nuts.
Rodney, are you talking about Rodney White?
Yeah, like he's just another one of those guys, like size.
True freshman, 294. Someone did their pamphlet. Someone did their packet. And it's Rodney White, and he's moving up my depth chart already because there's some guys that came in a little lighter than I was expecting. Good number. Joe Brunner, listed at 6'7", almost a tackle body. Like, who's going to play the tackle? Is it Ajani or him? Not sure at this point. I still have him at right guard and Ajani at right tackle, but makes me wonder with that 6'7" frame, can he be bumped out there?
Well, he was a left side guy,
or as the everyday guy. I'm not sure.
But yeah, obviously the talent is there, and then like the size is very, very apparent. And then CJ Skiffries, 6'5", 310.
Yeah, all the freshman linemen that came in, besides Mondo, we don't have his weight yet, but they all measured in at 300 plus. All 3 of them.
Baylor Wilkins, a guy we're really high on. Another one of the reasons why we were okay with the fact that Indiana didn't go crazy in the portal, and one of the reasons that we've hypothesized why Evan Lawrence was okay, like leaving, is the emergence of somebody like Baylor Wilkins. So really, really excited to watch what he does this year. Obviously, Drew Evans, we talked about the feature on him, but very, very integral part of this offensive line. Chance Johnson's wearing 64. I don't think there are any changes here. Carter Smith, 65, best lineman in the Big Ten. He's just back this year.
Just there. That's cool. It's nice.
Evan Parker, 66, no changes there. Lieb Freed, obviously 70, and another one of those guys we're going to rely on this year as a 7th, 8th offensive line or 6th, 7th offensive lineman.
He's probably O-line 6, like very easily, honestly. Like you can probably say that pretty confidently at this point.
Ben Novak, fresh off high school state championship. He's going to be wearing number 71. Obviously, Ajani, Bray Lynch. We were factoring those guys into an offensive line that started in the national championship game. No changes for those guys. Sam Simpson's wearing 75, Brad. No other changes here for Marek or Becker. Becker listed at 209.
He was already 209.
No, I know, but he's
6'4", 209, 4.3 speed. I think he's going in the first round, Keys. I've been trying to tell everyone this.
You don't got to convince me.
I know.
Miles Kendrick still wearing 82. Hunter Stroud's wearing 83. Blake Thierry, 2-time Freak of the Week. Blake Thierry wearing 84. I'm really, really interested to see what Blake Thierry's weight is at, and let's go to
like his actual weight, because we got Barker here at 246, and based on the injuries to Schott, Gibbs, and Elmore, and the fact that McFarland's not even on campus, I mean, Barker and Thierry are going to have lots of opportunity to make a name for themselves when it comes to spring ball. So Barker being ahead of the game weight-wise, Thierry having the athletic edge over Barker. Curious to see what he's been able to do in the weight room from the beginning of fall through up until spring. We'll be able to see once those updates come in where Thierry is at. But those are the 2 tight ends as of right now, just based on injuries.
Yep. Bruno Massel wearing 86 again. Brock Schott will be 88 this year. You just talked about him coming into the year or leaving the season a little bit banged up, so he's not going to be around for spring ball. Joe Yelley's wearing 90. Josh Plaxic wearing 90. Place check. Blake Smythe's wearing 91.
Comes in a little lighter than anticipated, but still, I don't hate 280 true freshman D tackle. I don't hate that at all. do not.
Gabe Hill 6'1", 280.
Yeah, same shit. Ronald Johnson,
92.
super excited for him. Very similar to Keyshawn Calhoun. He's going to be able to go inside, outside. Going to be that big DN, like think Chidi Obiazer. Like that's Ronald Johnson. That's Keyshawn Calhoun. Yeah, excited to see maybe him being a guy that can challenge into being able to play, being at a weight at the end where he can see the field.
I really, really love this stretch from 91 through. We go 93, obviously Quinn Warren, 94, Kyler Garcia, another one of those redshirt freshman defensive linemen that are just
Kyler Garcia is right now my D tackle 4. We'll dive into the position groups more, but Kyler Garcia is a guy, him and Burris, who will go down at 99, saw the field last year, but didn't burn a red shirt. Because we were able to manage it well enough. Shout out Jamari Monette, by the way, being able to allow Kyler Garcia to keep his red shirt coming in. Because we were blowing teams out. It's like, God, we're going to keep burning red shirts if we're having to play the 2s and the 3s 8 times a year. And, that's where guys like Jamari Monette really come into play. But now we have enough red shirt freshmen where it doesn't matter anymore.
Yeah.
And that's what's so important about it. That's what's so cool about this team.
Obviously, Tyreek Tucker, we're calling him one of the returning captains, one of the leaders on this team. The final James Madison transfer left on the roster. He's still wearing 95. Tristan Abram obviously wore 96 last year. He's running back 96 this year. Another guy who, like Jamie Jordan, super high on him, our buddy from obviously IU Reactionary Hoosier Huddle. Abram's a guy whose weight that I'm very curious to see.
Great tape, needs a sandwich.
I don't think that kid's 228 after spending a full year with Derek Owens and now Tyson Brown. Like, there's no way.
He still needs a sandwich. Like, once you get up to 260, you still got to keep eating the sandwiches to keep at 260 and get your weigh-ins.
Landino is one of the best.
That's how structured this team is. Like, they have weigh-ins. They have to keep their weight week after week after week. Like, this is a system. Like, that's not going to go away with Tyson coming in at strength conditioning. Like, that is an Indiana standard thing that they do. I don't know if they're doing that across the country. I'm actually not sure. They might be, but when I heard that they were doing weekly weigh-ins in this program, I grinned because I think that's genius. It's holding players accountable. It's doing all the right things. It's not that we're worried about these guys being accountable.
But Fernando Mendoza maintaining a weight of 225, like, absolutely played a factor in his ability to run over Bassett in the national championship.
Exactly.
Mario Landino is one of the best returning players in the country, period, bar none. Obviously, if you don't know 97 in our program by now, why are you watching our show?
There's a lot of true juniors that we have that it might be their last year in the program because they're so freaking talented.
Too good, man.
Like, Landino might be a first-round pick after this year. Like, he might break out and just shoot up draft boards. Like, we already knew he has an NFL spin move. It's insane. I don't know if you ever see it, because I remember we were watching. That's what I was saying. We were talking about the clips last year. We saw that Landino spin move. I'm like, that's an NFL spin move. Like, that is an NFL. He's a redshirt. He's a sophomore.
I like how your takeaway is we saw that in the clip, and that Indiana football's creative team was like, we're going to show the fans this.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, you're right. But anyways, it's an NFL spin move, and it's obvious. McCaney comes in a little lighter than anticipated. Super excited for Tyrone Burris going into this year, by the way. As edge 5, like
274 as a high school defensive tackle in an elite program, Brad. I'm not worried about 274 from McCaney. That being said, like,
he was listed at 300 in most sites. So
we have spent it could have been bad weight. You don't know that.
Yeah, could have been.
We've spent the entire portion of the roster breakdown talking about how much depth we have on the defensive line. Like, he's in a position where it's like those guys have some time to put some weight on. But Ty Burris, like, 236 doesn't feel right to me, Brad.
It doesn't.
He got on the field this year.
Yeah, he was playing like big games. He was playing a lot in the Purdue game. Was able to keep his red shirt.
He was in the Oregon game, Brad.
Yeah,
he was on the field.
He's able to keep his red shirt. I don't know. Do playoff games count as potential redshirt burns?
No.
Fascinating. Well, he's clearly the guy that got the DePepes out of there. He surpassed them. And once we had to, put the 2s and 3s on, we were able to use Burris instead of those guys because we were able to save him from redshirt burns throughout the year. So, I don't know. Super deep room. Excited to kind of break it down room by room in the future. Some guys missing from this roster. Tyler Cherry, PJ McFarland, tight end. Tyler Cherry's a quarterback, if you guys don't know. He was on the team for a while now. LeVar Keys, receiver, and I'm missing one guy. Oh, Kenton Mondu. He's going to be a tackle. Excited to see what he weighs in at. I have him listed at 6'7", 315, so just excited to kind of see where he measures in once he arrives on campus.
Yeah, I think Sig said they had 19 guys on campus out of the 26 class.
Yeah, it was all but 3. It was those 3 guys.
And I know Keys is running track.
Yeah, that's why he's not on campus.
Yeah, that's it's funny when you sit here and go through the roster. You're like, man, that guy's really good, but I don't even know if he's going to play. And this guy's really good too. And where does he play? And it's
crazy.
Really
they're able to get those kids. They got 22 out of the 25 guys they're bringing in to leave high school early, skip their prom, and get to fucking work. I love that shit. That's good. That's good stuff. That's what people don't realize. When you enroll on campus early, you're missing out on all those little extra senior year.
You can go back for prom.
And they'll go back for prom, but you know what I mean. They're
I do
a little earlier than anticipated. It takes an investment, not just from the player, but from the family involved as well. We talk so much about how many good families we have within the program, which is great.
Yeah, you know how many senior baseball seasons for kids at Runes when they're really good friends leave and go to school early and don't show up for the spring?
Are you talking about Kenny Pickett? Talking about Kenny Pickett again, aren't you?
No, I wasn't.
All right.
you got any closing thoughts, Brad? Maybe I was. I don't know. You got any closing thoughts?
Yeah, we're somehow more loaded than last year. Just the fact that a lot of these freshmen are now redshirt freshmen. And yeah, we're maybe a little younger, but it's a better quality. Jamari Winnett, great, forever a champion. He wasn't in the system as a freshman, right? And that delayed his ability. Now all these very talented guys coming in are just able to supplant them. The Peppies, we were just upgraded every spot. Yeah, we're a little younger. Maybe that's just the nature of the beast as we try to, retention, development. Well, it's high school recruiting, retention, development, and retention, right? Those are the 3 things that Cignetti focuses on. So we brought in the guys, we just need to retain them. That's our core, and we'll keep supplanting gaps in the portal. And yeah, we just have a really deep roster where we can go down to our 3rd string line, and I'll be confident in their ability to perform because they're going to be guys that have been in the program for over a year and a half, right? And that's just super exciting to have.
It's funny because, Brad, I feel like, and this will be my closing thought, me and you have been talking about the depth of this program for a full year now. And even going into last year, how we felt so strongly about how good at least the 2 deep was. And Cignetti spent a lot of the time on Bison Drop talking about how he's never felt like he's had a roster that's had any depth. And so you could argue that this is the deepest roster he's ever had.
Yeah, you could argue that. And yeah, he's got it. He's been able to build it. It takes years, second years, like I've talked about all the time. And it's finally culminated into this. And they already have a championship under their belt.
It's crazy.
It's scary hours for these guys.
The championship, the craziest part about the championship is that it just wasn't, it's so ahead of schedule for what the rest of the college football world expects from a program that it is forever changed, at least the short-term landscape of the sport and how you look at how successful a coach and a staff is and what you should even look for when you're hiring a coach or a staff.
Yeah.
I think the biggest thing that gets overlooked is the fact that we took the entire staff came with Sig. It wasn't just Cignetti, and they didn't have to go find a new defensive coordinator, a new offensive coordinator, a new special teams guy, and a new strength guy. He hired one guy, Bob Bostad. Everyone else was already on staff. It was just at a different school. I think that's a really, really significant piece of this that most people overlook. And I think rightfully so, because Cignetti is such a like huge, like he like in the clip I cut up this week, there's one leader in that room and it's Curt Cignetti, but that room is filled with elite people. And yeah, it's hard to replicate. And I don't think we'll ever see it again, but
yeah, with the
it's not
2D,
like, this is the upswing is the point of all of this, is like, they're still climbing up the mountain in terms of generating an elite program. Like the class of 26 was elite. The class of 2027 is going to be even better. The 4 guys they have in the class of 27 right now are as good as anybody's 4 in the country. I don't care how many stars you want to give anybody. Like it's scary, some of the conversations that they're starting to find themselves in. And like when you start looking around, at least in the very, very short term lens of recruiting, Indiana's the defending national champion with the largest alumni base in the country. With like, they are the program right now, and they have the momentum, and they have the money, and they have the fan base, and this is the beginning.
Yeah, I don't think people are willing to admit that yet. I think they know that like Indiana's going to be around, right? But now it's like it shifted from Indiana can't win a national title to Indiana can't win another one because they're not a blue belt. Right? That's why they're listed 7 on the JD Pickle list. Like they're seeing us as perennial playoff team, but won't win it every year. Like I'm saying, fuck that. Like last year, this team, you go past the 2 deep. I didn't have confidence in, like, cause it's all true freshmen, right? At behind that, and now those guys are all they're in the same spot. They're just a year older in the system. Like I'm a lot more confident in terms of the overall depth. Like these practices are going to be insane. The matchups, the guys just getting each other better. It's like exponent. Like Cignetti said, it's exponential, right? Like
it's multiplication, not addition.
The year 3 jump. Why not?
The Curt, everyone wanted to talk about the Matt Rule year 3 program jump for Nebraska. What about the Curt Cignetti year 3 program jump?
Yeah, it's scary hours for these guys, and I think now we're going to be fighting the fight of Indiana's going to win it again. We're now talking how Indiana can be a dynasty. I don't think people are willing to admit that, because the only team that's been able to be a dynasty in the modern era has been Alabama. Ohio State hasn't been able to do that. They had a 10-year gap between their 2 most recent national titles. Like, think about how scary that is. And Indiana might be able to go back to back with this roster. I think it's scary. It's hard to comprehend for even me. It takes some getting used to. It's surreal. I think it's I don't think there's any doubt that Indiana's going to go back to the playoff next year in the eyes of the national pundits. I think this idea that Indiana can go back and do the same thing they did last year, I think is just it's not registering quite yet that they can go back and be even better and go win a back-to-back national title. I don't think it's registering for people yet. I think there's going to be some people that are going to buy in. I think Phil Steele is going to be one of them. I think Phil Steele is going to be really on this team heavy. I'm excited to see that copy that comes out this next year. Maybe see Becker on the cover. That'd be sick. I might get the national cover, right? Because it's going to have an Indiana guy on it.
It has to. How could it not?
Yeah. So I think they maybe put on Carter Smith, maybe.
Could you do a national and a Midwest? Would they do both?
Yeah, but if they do, no, they wouldn't. They would either, if the Indiana guy is on the national cover, they won't have an Indiana guy on the Midwest cover. That's how it works. Trust me.
7 straight months of rat poison, right, Brad?
7 straight months of rat poison. I'm being the biggest feeder of it right now, to be honest. And I hope none of the players watch this podcast. I hope all the parents do and understand how great of a program this is. They should you should send your kid here. That's how they're going to become the best version of your child that they can be. And they have some very, very talented football players, top to bottom, that if they become the best that they can be, it's going to be very scary for the rest of the country in terms of how they form it. There's a lot of things to get excited about. The tight end room is going to be a great talking point, because the reality is that it's going to be a battle for who the top guys are, and then the ones who don't are probably going to leave the program just because they're of the same class of these guys, and that's just the situation that they're in, right? So it's going to be interesting to kind of see these battles come out. There's a lot of them, whether that's Hill versus Carson Williams, or Bell versus Carson Williams. We got, there's plenty of great battles. The tight end battle is going to be great.
You're stepping on like 12 podcasts we can do in the next.
Yeah, I know, it's
So
crazy.
we'll be pushing every single Tuesday night, 8 p.m. Eastern here on Indiana at the Voice of College Football. Please like, comment, share, subscribe to Indiana at the Voice of College Football on YouTube. I didn't cut you off, did I, Brad? Were you finishing a thought?
No, no, I'm reading New Life. He's a new guy. I don't know who. Love Tyrek's big man dance after a sack. I don't know who Tyrek is.
He's talking about Tyreek Tucker.
Oh yeah, Tyreek.
He was live responding to that. These are all like up to date.
I was live responding to him. I don't know if he knows that was me. She was like, "Huh, he doesn't play a snap." Like, no, Tyler Morris was practicing during the playoffs. He's back. He's good to go. Scary hours for these. Yeah, we got Trench, or we might have the best D line and the best O line in the country, and the best quarterback in terms of returning production, and the best receiving core, and the best DB room, and probably the two best linebacker duo in the country. Like, get fucking used to it. I'm talking my shit, all right? Because I'm
here on Indiana at the Voice of College Football.
Until I see the Phil Steele preview and I'm able to see all these other teams, maybe I might just start doing depth charts for the entire country and try to find a team that has the proven depth that Indiana has, or right, that can match it. And
that'd be a good offseason
project
names
out there. And I'm going to lean on coaches here, right? Top coaches, right? Ohio State's going to be a problem. Notre Dame's going to be a problem. Alabama could be a problem. Oregon's going to be a problem. They were really young last year. They got older. They're gonna give us our best shot. That's a likely Big Ten championship game for me. Indiana, Oregon. We don't see them all year. Could be a battle of undefeateds going into it. Virginia Tech, James Franklin brought his whole staff back. Could have a very Cignetti-like effect to the Virginia Tech program. Not saying it's going to be replicable, but could have that same type of, change over there. Not saying they're going to be a threat for us this year, but could make the playoff. Who else could be a problem? Miami's probably going to be really good. Mensa, Burkett, Cooper Barkate, and Malachi Toney. Mark Fletcher's back. Scary stuff. There's teams around, but I believe in my guys, and they're of a different breed in terms of process. And now they have this talent that can match top to bottom with all these teams, which is just like on paper, it works. Where it was always like eye test, this team always executed at such a high level that you believe it. Now it's up to this team to try to execute at such a high level like previous teams have, and that's gonna be their toughest challenge, right? Getting to that level and an execution level, and that's on Sig. Sig's gonna get them in shape. I'm not even worried, to be honest. Like, why do I have a reason to doubt? To be honest, at this point.
No reasons to doubt. We'll be talking about it every week here on Indiana at the Voice of College Football. Please like, comment, share, subscribe to Indiana at the Voice of College Football on YouTube. Follow us on Twitter, me at Alec Keyser. Follow Brad at Bradley_Loomis8. He's tweeting a lot more these days, which is it's a huge development in the life of the podcast, which is big time. But we're on YouTube. We're on
Twitter.
We're on Instagram. We're on TikTok in some way, shape, or form, and at Sigs Inside Pod. And I don't, for whatever reason, the stream didn't go live on, like it was live on Sigs Inside, but it didn't tweet, so I'm not really sure what happened there, but I'll have to look into that. And there's been some weird things with the podcast audio. Like we're also on like Apple Podcasts and Spotify and wherever you get your podcasts, where it's not the show descriptions aren't copying over fully, which has been pretty frustrating. But yeah, we're doing the damn thing, Brad. Weekly. We're approaching now 1 full year of weekly Indiana football shows, Brad. That's coming up next month.
I'm fired up.
It's insane stuff. I love it. We'll be here talking Hoosiers next week. Appreciate y'all for hanging out. See you guys next time. Go Hoosiers.